Yay.
And we're live.
Hello everyone, we're back for another weekly emoji reading quiz with a team, doing our public experimentation proof of concept. Okay, so everyone here is a test pilot of the greatest experiment, greatest discovery ever. Okay, let's get into it. We're going to be having, as usual, a beginner's portion, an intermediate portion, and advanced. Beginner portion, for those who aren't used to it, is usually around some fundamental emoji reading cues, often involving collage work. The intermediate portion focuses on the weekly quiz, where I had a week to go over some unknown samples and bring them here today. And then the last part, the advanced portion, is for live reading on the spot of a previously unread sample or two. Okay, so go with introductions first. I am Nai G Coach.
I am Shiny Shiley.
I'm Zaini Venus.
Naiji Ben.
Nijai Infinity.
Naiji Glenn.
And Nijai Starglow.
Okay, so we will go ahead and get started with the beginner portion. I'll hand off to Jailene. We're going to be comparing and contrasting Nijai female to Jaini female. So there's a few differences there that Jailene will highlight, and then we'll do a little compare and contrast quiz with the collage. Take it away, Jailene.
Okay, so let me screen share with you guys the quiz. And so today's quiz compares the Nijai versus the Shiny. So two inverse mojos in the AdROM grouping. And some of the main differences between the Nijai and the Shiny. So let's see, Nijai, a big one is the hooded versus unhooded eyes. So the Nijai as an objective mojo, they'll
Real quick, Jailene, I'm sorry to be jump in there, but for some reason I'm not seeing the document. Can you help me? Oh, there it is. Thank you.
Okay. Cool. So hooded versus unhooded eyes, the Nijai as an objective mojo have unhooded eyes, and the Shiny as a subjective mojo, they have hooded eyes. And as a way to describe that quality, that cue that you get used to seeing of hooded versus unhooded eyes, is the hooded eyes or the unhooded eyes look like they're pressed to the glass, and they're really bright and open. And the hooded eyes, it's like they have this it feels like they're more removed, more inward focused, and they have sort of a hooding over their eyes. So they look
Jailene, one thing, you're doing an excellent job. When you are toggling between descriptions, could you toggle between a Nijai Shiny sample on the screen?
Okay, but are we doing the quiz? So do people know who's Nijai?
Right, but I'm saying, but you can just pick like maybe the first few samples, like scroll down. Who's the first couple samples there?
Okay, let's see.
It would just help us to know when we're talking about Shiny cues that they're not looking at Nijai, vice versa.
Okay, sounds good. So we have a Shiny here, Jillian Anderson. We have two Nijai here, Freeman Aguiman and Christine Aguiman. Just put where there's like a Nijai and a Shiny together, and you're just going to go up and down between the two as you are comparing and contrasting them. Okay, let's see. Okay, so here we go. We have Shiny Gillian Anderson and Nijai Jennifer Anderson. Nijai Jennifer Anderson has those unhooded eyes. Like I said, she has Nia as her first power, so she's an objective mojo, and you can see that quality. The eyes are in comparison to Gillian Anderson, who's a Shiny and has hooded eyes, so hooded versus unhooded,
Jennifer Aniston has brighter eyes. They're more glued to the glass, right there drinking in the information, the environment, whereas Gillian Anderson has hooded eyes, so they seem more, not as bright. They seem also more distant, and there is this hoodedness on the top of her eye that gives a more maybe weary look or pensive look. Yeah, so hooded versus unhooded eyes. So here, hooded, unhooded. Any questions there? You guys have or comments?
Could we also go over the discernment lead versus perception lead? I think we.
Yep. So that so there's hooded versus unhooded. There's also another thing that you'll notice is the bifield versus unifield face. So the shiny, because they are the discernment lead, they have Jai as their first power. They'll have this the emotive for the shiny. The emotiveness goes up into the eyes area, and so they have here. You can see when she emotes, there are fine flexations on the right hand side picture for Gillian Anderson that go up into her eye area. And so the whole face up to the top has this unifield, this uniform look, which is why we call it the unifield face. Here for Jennifer Aniston, she is perception lead, meaning that even when she is discerning, in this case, for example, here on the right hand side, she's emoting with her shy. But when she does, the emotive expression does not go into the eyes area like it did for Gillian Anderson. Instead, it stops right below the eyes in what we call the brim line. And so her eyes are always drinking in the information. And that gives it so there are two, so these two planes are doing different things. So there's the emoting that goes all the way up to the eye area, and then the eye area is doing its own thing, drinking in information. And so we call that the bifield face. So for all lead perceivers, we'll have bifield faces versus the lead discerners who will have unifield faces. Some other things also that you can note that are differences between the shiny and the Nijai is what area of the face pops out most. Because shiny have Jai as their first power, your first power will have the most energetic focus. Their cues, the cues associated with that top power, will have the most energetic focus. And so one of the things that you'll see is for shiny, the mouth, where they're emoting, where the shy radiates from, will have more energy in it than the eyes. So Ni is their second power and will be expressed through the eyes, but since Jai is their first power, that's what has the most energetic focus. Whereas for Jennifer Aniston, since Ni is her first power, notice her eyes is what pops out most and has more energetic focus than her mouth, which is tied to Jai, her second power. Some other things that you won't necessarily see through the pictures, especially if you don't see the full torso, but are also differences between the shiny and the Nijai, are that in the movement, the movement will be different, the movement signature, rhythm. So for the Nijai, because they have Ni over Jai, their movement rhythm will have bobble as the primary rhythm with an intermittent sway, which is related to the Jai. Whereas for Jaini, like Gillian Anderson, since Jai is the first power, and sway is a signal that's associated with that, she'll have more sway in her movement, and then we'll have intermittent bobble from her knee come in. So it's sway bobble for Jaini versus bobble sway for Jai. And the other thing that we'll see is, as difference is the gesturing. So
Real quick, one of the reasons why I wanted Charlene to mention that to you all, because we're looking at pictures, is everything she said is absolutely true, but I will mention that that quality, you can see, I've been noticing more and more, if you study the base of the neck going up the head, the axis line of the neck, there's more of a languidness to it in the shiny, the way their spine is. And there's more of a perked up quality to that portion of the spine, neck portion. Just so there's more of a perked up quality to the overall carriage of the Nijai compared to shiny. So, a little interesting note. So if you see their neck, you can kind of tell a little bit. Yeah, for example, like these broken lines, where you'll have like 3 lines going in it. The towers seem to be able to pull it off easily any other mojo, including even gatherers, where they actually have like, just like the wrists. The wrists have those multiple break line points in it. That's natural for them. The way their neck is also has that, particularly the area where the neck goes into the shoulder area and where the neck goes into the base of the skull. They kind of like collapse them a little bit or sway them a bit. Interesting. The same way they do, like they tend to slouch and lean on stuff, like the chair or the wall or on themselves, self-hugging. They kind of collapse or self-collapse their necks a bit too. Whereas, for example, like say Jennifer Aniston, there's more of a perked up, or more of a bobble lift in that neck area, just like there is in the rest of the carriage.
Is that, Coach, also like it's for towers, it's more like an articulatable joint, whereas for gatherers it seems to be more like a noodle, like it all collapses together.
Yes, they're both that's a good way of putting it. They're both collapsible because they're adaptive, but it collapses more like one unit for the gatherers, and it collapses at multiple places with the towers.
Yeah, like you can see the joints articulate in a Jai alpha, and for a Nijai, it all collapses as you see my hand, it all collapses together in one form. For the towers, it collapses as each joint separate collapses, which is really
multiple collapses. It is.
Yeah.
It signals the yinness of that quadrant. Definitely, sure.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense.
Cool. So let's go ahead and do a thing. By the way, great job, Charlene. That was an excellent overview and tutorial.
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome job, Jelly.
Yeah,
really nice job, actually. Yes.
Thanks. One thing that I did, I don't think I mentioned, but I wanted to mention just to cap off the key differences were the gesturing between the shiny and the Nijai will also be different. So especially when you see interviews and you have their limbs.
Let's go ahead. Not worry too much about cues you won't see in the pictures.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds
But
good.
that languidness versus the kind of bobble energy, you can see it in the neck. The neck and head show sway and bobble.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I'll start off and then we'll go round robin. This is a shiny.
Shiny.
Shining.
I see shiny. Nijai.
I'm actually not able to see anything, so you might need to skip me.
Yeah. We'll skip that. So,
Jilene, can you prompt? Can you keep prompting whoever's up?
Gabe. Is Gabe on?
You missed
Prompt
Mike, I think.
whoever's up next who's here. So Gabe's not here, and Glenn does not have visuals, so don't use those two.
Wait, did Mike ever go?
Yeah.
Mike went.
No.
Struggle is still.
Stargle's turn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's my
start
turn. So you want to flip to the next one, Jilene, since we didn't have, because you've already revealed that one. She's Nijai.
Give her another one, Jilene, please.
Okay. Take this one.
Wait, another one?
Wait,
She just answered.
She just took one.
She just
The last
answered
one
one.
was revealed before she could answer. So go ahead,
So
Starglow.
she skipped to the next one for that had been not revealed. So I did the next
She
one.
actually did guess on this one before it was revealed.
Yeah, I did a guess after the
The one
reveal.
before that was the one that she
Okay,
had
let's just get going here. So Starglow, just take this person here.
Nijai.
I was gonna say, I thought she already did.
She did.
Keep going.
Shiny.
Please, let's just keep going,
Okay.
please.
She's a shiny.
Nijai.
That's a Jaini.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Shiny.
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 Starglow.
Nijai.
She's
I'm sorry, Shiny. Shiny.
shiny.
Shiny.
Shiny.
Shiny.
Nijai.